Why is it so difficult for men and women to be friends? It seems so ordinary and turns out to be almost impossible. Either there is an ugly compromise, like man and wife, or else passion that eventually turns into hate. Why is there all this ugliness between men and women?
There are many reasons why it's difficult for men and women to be friends, especially while they're both still spiritually asleep. But ultimately it all goes back to how boys and girls are raised and conditioned from the moment they are born. We live in a society where if a child is a boy, he will be raised in one way, and if it's a girl, she will be raised in a slightly different way. So from the very beginning, both boys and girls are placed on two different paths that rarely ever meet. And the older they get, the less those paths meet, so that the only thing that brings them together while they're still unconscious is sex.
If one observes it closely, there is conflict between man and woman. The man has his own ideals, his own pursuits, his own ambition. He's always seeking success, to be somebody in the world. And so also the woman is struggling, also wanting to be somebody, wanting to fulfill, to become. Each is pursuing his own direction. So it's like two railway lines running parallel, but never meeting, perhaps in bed. But otherwise, if you observe closely, they never meet actually, psychologically, inwardly. Why? Is it because that each one has his own particular image put together by thought, and our relationship is only based on two images? The image that the man creates about her, and the image the woman creates about him. So we are in this relationship, two images living together. That's a fact.
From a young age, we're conditioned to believe that interactions between men and women should be romantic or sexual. And since they don't really have many interests in common, romantic and sexual relationships are basically as deep as it goes. Another major reason why it's difficult for men and women to be friends is because throughout history, men have been suppressing women and they haven't allowed them freedom to grow to their full potential. And this is still happening today, especially in places like Afghanistan, Iran, and so on. To understand why this would have an impact on how men and women relate to each other, you must first understand how the ego and emotions work. The ego isn't just the voice in your head which pretends to be you. It's also the unobserved emotions that are the reaction to what the voice in the head is saying. These unobserved emotions are what Eckhart Tolle calls the pain body. And there is a collective pain body as well as an individual pain body, which is the accumulation of negative emotion.
The pain body, of course, many of you know about the pain body, and hopefully not only know about the pain body, but have direct knowledge, immediate knowledge of your own pain body. The pain body, of course, has the favorite place for the pain body, which is the old accumulated pain, which is an energetic, almost an entity that lives in you, that lives on emotional suffering. It loves it, it's its vibrational frequency. It thrives on close relationships. That's where it gets its food, most of its food. there isn't much you can do with, if your pain body needs food, it can't do much when you go to the supermarket and only see the cashier for half a minute or 1 minute. Even there it could happen. I've been standing here for 10 minutes and you've been talking to this customer instead of serving me. But the favorite place for pain bodies to renew themselves are families and intimate relationships. That's their place. And so you will know your partner has a pain body, which occasionally takes them over and makes them say and do things that one could say they're completely out of character. Well, yes, it's unconscious.
So there is a collective male pain body and a collective female pain body, just like there are collective racial pain bodies. And this is the emotional aspect of what Carl Jung calls the collective unconscious. Now, because of the things that have been done to women throughout history, almost every woman has her share in the collective female pain body, which tends to get activated just before her period, which is why at this time many women are overwhelmed by intense negative emotion. Throughout history, the feminine principle has been constantly suppressed, so much so that this suppression has become internalized, even in most women. And because this feminine dimension is suppressed, it's felt by many women as emotional pain, and it has become part of their pain body, along with all the horrible things that have been done to women throughout history, like torture, slavery, violent death, and so on. If women had been respected in the past, humanity would not be in such a mess as it is today, because it has suppressed one half of itself. And because of all of this, the collective female unconscious basically wants revenge against the collective male unconscious, as strange as that sounds, because of the things that has been done to it in the past. Think about it this way: if somebody does something horrible to you, aren't you gonna want to get revenge to make things even? Well, it's the same in this case, but because women couldn't get revenge on men using violence against them, since men tend to be physically stronger, the female pain body had to get revenge in another way, which is why throughout history men and women haven't really got along. So as long as men and women are unconscious, this dynamic will play out in their relationships, as it does every day around the world. Of course, all of this is happening unconsciously, so it's not anybody's fault. It's just the way things are. Unconsciously, many women carry intense emotion because of what happened to women collectively in the past thousands of years. As Osho once said, the woman has been taking revenge which can't be condemned because the sole responsibility goes to man who has taken her social freedom, who has taken her opportunities for education, opportunities for financial equality. He has deprived her completely and imprisoned her in the home. Because in the past, man has reduced woman to a slave, the woman must get a revenge and also reduce the man to a slave, but in her own subtle way. For centuries, man has been repressing the woman, calling her the weaker sex, depriving her of education, financial independence, and the right to move freely in society, and so on. Naturally, the woman is carrying a lot of anger accumulated for centuries, and she takes revenge in her own way. She might nag the husband, scream at him, throw pillows at him. She basically has gained psychological control over men, especially in marriage. Slavery is always mutual, and freedom is always mutual. So since the man has reduced the woman to a slave, the woman has her own way to reduce him to a slave. If you see a couple walking down the street, you can decide without asking them whether they are married or not, whether the woman is a wife or a girlfriend. With the girlfriend, the man is so happy and you can see it. But with the wife, he's so bored and so sad for the simple reason that this woman has made his life a hell. But who is responsible? First, the man has made her a slave, so now she's returning it to him in the same way. Of course, the feminine way of taking revenge is different. Her psychology is different. But no woman gives freedom to the boyfriend or to the husband. She keeps an eye on him to see who he's talking to, where he's going. She wants to check his phone to see if he's been texting another woman, and so on. It is an ugly relationship because both are trying to overpower each other. The woman can never forgive the man for what he has done to her throughout history. Deprived her of education, deprived her of financial freedom, deprived her of her human dignity. And this is why men and women can't be real friends while they're both still unconscious. The interesting thing about all of this is, if the woman becomes free, man automatically becomes free because they are not separate. Men need freedom as much as women. Both need freedom. Freedom from the mind. They should work together and help each other to be free from the mind. Then the world will finally be a better place.